Could New York City ban pods and laundry sheets? A bill has been introduced in New York City called Pods Are Plastic, and it would ban the sale of any pods or laundry sheets that are made up of PVA, a type of polymer. And the idea behind this is that plastic is bad, but I was really disappointed to hear this because I'm an eco-friendly person and I love laundry sheets. They come in paper packaging instead of plastic bottles. They are non-toxic. They're super lightweight, so they ship without a lot of emissions. I love being able to carry these up 5 flights of stairs to my New York City apartment instead of lugging a big heavy bottle. What's not to love? I first heard about this problem a couple of years ago when a cleaning product company actually emailed us at ecocult.com. And they said, hey, we have a petition. We're trying to convince the EPA to reclassify PVA, which is what these sheets and these pods are made of, as a toxic, non-biodegradable plastic that needs more testing and cannot be considered safe. I had never heard about this before. And when I went to look for more information, guess what popped up? A bunch of information from Blueland. There was no other information that I could find except from this for-profit cleaning startup. So I was like, that's weird. Is Blueland trying to get their competitors banned? Because Blueland actually makes these plastic-free tablets that are supposed to be eco-friendly, and they can go in the dishwasher and they can go in your clothes washer as well. And so I was like, this feels weird and icky. I don't have time or capacity to look into this, and I'm just gonna ignore it. But then this bill was introduced in New York City, and I was like, okay, you know what? Now they're coming after my hometown. I'm looking into this. Blueland also funded a study out of Arizona that claimed that nearly 80% of the PVA in the wastewater stream, or about 800 million bottles worth of plastic, doesn't biodegrade and may end up in the environment, either from wastewater treatment plants or as sludge that's spread on our farms. But the thing is that this study doesn't look at the different types of PVA, and it wasn't sampling water coming out of the wastewater treatment plants. It used a bunch of estimates looking at the PVA that comes out of textile processing plants, but it didn't look at this type of PVA, which was a huge problem with this study. So it's kind of inaccurate. And also, again, funded by Blueland, who's like behind this whole campaign. There have been a bunch of studies that show that human bodies have microplastics in them, but most of them have never found any bit of PVA in our body. There was one about breast milk, but it had a different kind of PVA. Apparently, this is a special type of PVA that is completely water soluble. It disappears. This also disappears. The EPA totally rejected Blueland and the Plastic Pollution Coalition's petition because they said all the evidence they submitted didn't actually apply to things like this. The other thing the EPA said is, you have not demonstrated at all that this PVA is toxic. It's actually considered by the EPA to be very, very safe with a long history of being studied. In fact, PVA is often used in pill capsules that we eat. So there's a lot of study around whether or not they're safe. And there's no evidence that it's not safe or that it contains any hazardous substances at all. The EPA rejected this petition, and then Blueland came back around and convinced a New York City council member to submit this bill that would ban pods. And New York City is the largest municipal economy in the United States, and I think maybe in the world. So this is basically saying okay, we couldn't get the federal government to do it, but we're gonna try to get this huge economic powerhouse to ban them. New York City is not going to ban pods and laundry sheets. It could barely ban polystyrene, and styrene is a known carcinogen. We've all seen styrofoam floating down waterways and blowing around. I really feel like it was just a marketing play. I don't know. It's whatever the funhouse mirror is of greenwashing, which is an eco-friendly company unfairly maligning its competitors, which are pods and laundry sheets, in order to convince people that in order to be eco-friendly, they need to switch to Blueland's own plastic-free detergents. Blueland has a lot of products that are made of plastic. They have these reusable plastic bottles where you drop in the tablets, and then you have cleaning product or hand soap. So it's kind of weird for them to be like, oh my God, this is plastic, it's so bad, when they're selling products that have plastic in them. The whole thing is super bizarre. And you know what? The reason why I'm talking about this is because we have a lot of plastic pollution problems that I feel guilty about. You probably feel guilty about. It was like a nice thing that we got to have, you know? Like it was just like non-toxic and eco-friendly and plastic free and like all this stuff. And then here's somebody comes around being like, oh no, sorry, you thought you were doing good, but you're not. No, fuck that. I'm going to keep using these, but I'm open to more evidence. Some people have said like, hey, we just need more testing to prove that these are as biodegradable and water soluble as everyone says they are. Yeah, that's totally fine. I'm totally open to new testing, but until that testing comes out, I am completely unconvinced.